Alright, that's where I'm at with it today here, Monday. I went and did a couple service calls this morning. Pricing batteries and stuff, and I can get a battery for, like 1,000 cold cranking amp for this car for probably close to a couple $100. The original battery that was in this car, not the Florida cell that went bad in 2 years, but I had this deck of gold in there. Charging it now, but it had a crack right here and leaked some of the water or whatever acid out. And I took some of the acid out of that battery and poured it back in. I don't know if it's going to work or not, but I'm going to try. And then I will JB weld that corner back on. But anyways, yeah, just trying to save a little bit of money if I can. I might end up having to go buy a new one, unfortunately. But then the starter cable that goes from the battery, over and down to the battery or to the starter, for one that's pre-made, and you can hardly find them for a 73 or 73, 74B body with the big block in it. And nobody makes them or whatever because they're not as popular as the 68, 69s, and 70s. But anyways, who cares? So one I did find, they're over $100 for just the cable, but I ain't gonna do that. I'm just gonna make my own. This is the exact end that they're using, but I'm gonna use that, and then I got some 8-gauge wire here, so I'll be making my own battery cable. And I also have the cloth tape to wrap around it so I can make it look correct. I don't know if I showed you guys this, but I ordered this oil gauge so I can hook it up and actually monitor my oil pressure, because I'm not going to have the gauges hooked up when I start the engine. So I'll screw this into the back air and I'll monitor the oil pressure when I get it running. The exhaust pipe, the tailpipes on here, when they swedge these out, I don't think they swedged them out far enough, and my new tips won't slide into them or over, for the matter of fact. So instead of taking it to the exhaust shop, I went ahead and got this. I'm hoping that this works and I don't have to take it to exhaust shop. So anyways, like $30, and it'll be worth it to me, and I'll still have it in my arsenal over here. So that's where I'm at. Got to clean these up. Transmission dipstick tube and the fuel tube that goes out the back. Stuff that has to be cleaned up to get it in the car. Alright, I'll get back with you. Okay, so this is where I'm at over here with it. Just making a battery positive cable for the starter. Still got to get another end for here to fit the starter relay, but I don't have that size, so I'll have to get one from the hardware store. But all this will be heat shrinked, and then it's the cloth taped, so just like the factory, cloth taped, and then I think for this end here, I think what I will do is heat shrink these here, of course, and I thought about making a little rubber mold just to pour some of that rubber coating over the top of them and kind of make them kind of look like factory, but it is what it is. I wasn't spending all the money they want for the ones that they make with the molded in on it here. Nah, I'm good. Got the battery charging. I'll have to wait till the battery's done so I can see how long I need this to be and then cut it to length. Bought a 48-inch one, and it was too short for 73B body with the big block and high torque mini starter. So I was gonna get the 56, and I was like, you know what, just get the 70. It was 72 or something like that. Let's see where I threw the, there it is. So yeah, it was 72 inch, and I had to cut that much off of it. So that's the best way to go if you're going to do it, and make one for yourself with the cloth tape around it and everything. 72 inch, and then put it in there the way you want it, and then cut it to length. That way it fits good, and it's not gonna touch anything, and it's out of everything's way, and blah 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 blah. So, all right, get back with you. All right, so this is the finished product here after installing the ends and putting the cloth tape on. This is starter end here, and I crimped and soldered the ends, and then here's your starter relay end up here. So we ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different ends that you need to make this, because of course you got your larger lug for the starter, and then your smaller one, and then you got this oddball size one here that bolts to the starter relay, and then the one, of course, that slides in the little groove and tightens down. So, alright, I'll show you that. Alright, this is where I'm at over here, just jacking around outside here. I got my positive cable made, all hooked up to the starter. I got my ground cable made. Still need to put the firewall, or not firewall, the core support ground on there. Got the power steering hose installed. I still need to clean this up, straighten out the fins a little bit. So this is a power steering pump cooler. It came on big block cars, Hemi cars, but I'm going to reinstall it. It was on this car. So, alright, that's where I'm at. Just tinkering around, trying to get stuff installed here, so we'll get some fluid and hopefully get this thing started up. Alright, night. Alright, quick little video of what I got going on over here. It's Thursday. I'm not staying out here today. I'm going to come out Friday and Sunday, but I just cleaning up parts, you know, like my parts that go to the license plate bracket, and painting the, oh, whatever you want to call that, goes to the breather. I got my license plate and dropped it in some evaporust and got the rust off of it. I don't know if I'm going to clean it up and repaint it, or if I'm just going to clear coat it and leave the patina. Might leave the patina on it, I don't know. But like I said, just cleaning up brackets, the shifter brackets. Stopped down and got some new bolts for the exhaust flanges, so that I can get that part done. Gonna be cleaning up the power steering cooler. Same thing here, some more brackets. So I took my license plate bracket, and the bolts that went through here were broken off, and then I dropped this in some fast etch to clean it up, because it's galvanized, and I just wanted to get it cleaned up. And this spring was rusty. The spring back here was rusty, and you can see inside the fast etch it snapped. It was like, bing, no, I don't want to be on there no more. So I was like, you know what, I'll just order a new one, because they repop them. And I got the new one in, and then I was thinking to myself, I was like, hold on, there's no part numbers on this at all. So aftermarket, they're not going to punch numbers on them, apparently. Cost them too much. But the spring and the studs and the little plastic clips, I thought, well, look, this has got a part number on it, the factory part number. And then this bracket has got a part number on it too. So I was like, should I just throw this on there and be happy with it, move on with life, or do I got to be difficult? And yeah, I decided to be difficult. So with that said, because I want to keep the part numbers on it, I am going to take the spring off of this one, the studs also, and these clips, yeah, this one's broke too, so I'll probably just break them clips out and just put the new clips in. That way it's all new, and it's got new screws with it. So that's what I'm going to do. Replace the spring, the studs, and the clips onto the one with the part number. Okay, I'll get back with you. Oh, another quick video here. I forgot to say I did get the shroud from what's it called? Classic Industries. It doesn't have a, well, I guess it does. It's got a part number on it here, and it's got the Chrysler emblem on it, so I'm happy with that. Mine is actually cracked down here at the bottom, and wasn't the correct one anyways. It was one for a C body. No, it wasn't. It was a B body, but it was the wrong number, wrong year. So anyways, I got that. I've been trying to figure out air conditioning lines, because I got the low side line here, and I got the high side line that goes up to the front, the metal one. I can clean that up and repaint it, make it look good. But I don't have the one that goes up front here. I've been searching all over for it, and I'm having a hard time finding that one, because it takes a little short pipe right here that hooks to the condenser, and the muffler right here is connected right here. The muffler, this is what I'm talking about. The muffler. So it's connected right there in the front, and then it's got a short little pipe. This is off of a C body, by the way. So if you want to look, this being off of a C body, it's pretty much gonna interfere with this hose, I believe, if I wasn't mistaken. Yeah, see, it goes down, and it'll probably interfere with the belt. See what I mean, Vern? I could maybe bend that and make it work, and pull this, cut this off, and put new ends and new hoses on. But this piece down here, as you can see, that goes over way too far. See there? Way too far. Mine needs to be over in this area over here, so it's a shorter one. So I did find the ends on eBay a guy's got. So I think that's what I'm going to do, is just order the ones off of eBay, and then I can order the ones off of eBay, and then I can actually just buy the hose and the couplers or whatever you want to call them, and a crimper, and just make my own hoses. That way I know for sure that I'm going to be okay. My battery actually took a charge and is fully charged now. It did have a crack right here on the corner and was leaking acid out of this end one here. I took acid out of that battery and poured it back in this one, and then made sure it was going to hold a charge, and then I went ahead and epoxied this corner back on. So I got a battery, needless to say. I'm going to probably end up ordering a new battery eventually, but this will get me by for now. So yeah, just showing you guys where I'm at over here, just farting around with this stuff. I need to get some Argent silver paint, because this gets painted silver. I've already sandblasted it, and that's more of your license plate bracket stuff. Okay, I'll get out of here. Let you know some more tomorrow. Alright, on today's agenda over here, it's Friday. Still don't have a board to write anything down on, but I'm just gonna tinker away and see what all I can get accomplished. So far I've installed the shifter mechanism there, and the brackets and all that's all on there. I still need to put the spring on over there, because it belongs on there somehow, some way. I forget exactly, but I'll figure it out. I gotta clean up this pivot point here that bolts to the side of the transmission, and I think, because that's the original transmission in this car, and it was floor shift. And the other transmission I put in there was column shift, so you clean up that and them, get them installed on the transmission that's in the car. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, I'll probably attempt to tighten any water pump bolts, find the bolts for the fan, and get the fan installed and the shroud, and pull the cardboard off the front of the radiator there. And yep, that's kind of where I'm at with it. Just installing stuff, trying to get it ready to fire it up. I did go to transmission fluid, antifreeze, and also got oil for the rear axle. And I figured if I'm going to be starting it up, I should probably have the drive shaft on, because if I'm putting transmission fluid, I got to get the drive shaft on, and if I'm going to put the drive shaft on, I better put rear end oil in and get that lubed up with the additive and all that good stuff. So like I say, always, you got to do one thing to do another. So get all the drivetrain all oiled up, all the parts to the drivetrain on. That way when it comes time, if I start it up, I can run the transmission through the gears and check the fluid on neutral and all that good stuff. Alright, get back with you, let you know how it's going. Alright, quick video here. I went ahead and, being this has got part numbers on it and stuff, removed all the hardware from the aftermarket one that doesn't have any numbers on it. And I don't even know if that, yeah, it might be galvanized, but I know this one's galvanized for sure. Still need to clean up these little areas here and here, but like I said, all new hardware, new spring, new mounting bolts. I think that's a better way, because that's got a part number on it too. Alright, moving on. Wasted 30 minutes of my life rebuilding that. Okay, I'm out. Alright. Seems like I'm running, but I'm not getting anywhere. So I started getting the drive shaft underneath there, and then I was like, oh shit, where are the U-bolts to hold the U-joints on the yoke on the rear end? So I had to go hunting them down, and I did find them. Came from Dr. Differential up there. But I was wondering, why didn't I have them mounted in the holes over here? And then this is probably why, because they was still in the package and I hadn't took them out of the package yet. So I can get that on, get the rear end filled up. I did order the rear brake line that goes up here with the vent, the little vent bolt that holds it on. So that's one thing I'm kind of waiting on. And then waiting on packages today. Just got some exciting news here. So I won't have to do anything with these trims right now. After this car gets done, I'll come back and I'll work on these and I'll restore them, clean them all up, make them look like new, and then they'll probably be for sale later on. Super rare, super hard to find anymore. but I was able to find a new old stock set. Let me show you here. Just turn this heat off because it's starting to warm up out. So, anyways, show off over here for a minute. So here they are. Brand new in the package. No poor packaging. Old stuff, man, old stuff. Still got the tag on it here. But anyways, yep, I found those. And also, same place, I asked about this. And here we are. Dun, 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 dun. Look at that. Look at that. The dirty needs cleaned up, but it ain't all yellowed out like my other one. But there it is, man. The Holy Grails. Well, hound's tooth and the Holy Grail. Alright, just thought I'd show you them. Get back with you. Alright, so a little reference video here. You can see what I was talking about by being yellow and not. So I will probably put some what do they call that, hydrogen peroxide, and soak it in it out in the sun, and that way it cleans up any kind of dirt or residue from it sitting on a shelf or whatever. But that's the difference. Alright, this is what I got done so far today. Got the power steering all on there. Not available. What? Using ultra wide lens. How about now? It'll be available now? Nope. So got the power steering hoses all hooked up, the power steering cooler installed, got the fan on, all the belts tight, shroud, bypass the heater hoses here, got all the radiator hoses on, got radiator fluid in it, antifreeze, got that piece painted and put on, got the dipstick tube in, got 4 quarts of transmission fluid in it. This is the dipstick and the last of my kick down brackets in paint. I got the drive shaft in. I got rear end filled up with the hypoid, or whatever you want to call it, the friction inhibitor, and 2 quarts of oil, and it was right there at the little hole. Let's see, I got the fuel nozzle in here that I have to come back off, but I wanted it on there so I can put, you know, a couple gallons of gas in there to get this thing started up. Got all the linkage for the shifter all in and painted, and all connected to the transmission. So went ahead threw my old puke jug in here just to use while I'm running the engine. That way it doesn't puke anything on the floor, and I can continue to run. So I'm guessing I'll have to run a hot wire to my choke, the coil, and the distributor. And then this will hook to the ground side of the coil. And I figured I'd do it that way so it can hook this to the hot side of the coil, this to the ground, and then run a hot wire over to the coil and here, and then run a ground also. And that should get me ignition and choke, is what I'm thinking. So, alright, that's where I'm at with it. As for the starter relay, I got a little push button that I can put on here temporarily to, you know, give it a boop, 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 get it started up. So, I got quite a bit done today. Happy with that. And tomorrow is Saturday, so I won't be back out, but I will come out Sunday, finish things off, top fluids off, check for leaks, and get the battery in, a couple gallons of fuel, and see if this thing a start and run. Alright, get back with you on it. Alright, so this is where I'm at. I didn't come out here all day. I observed the Sabbath and decided to come out here after the Sabbath, and it's bleeding. So I need to look under there and figure out where the transmission pan is leaking from, because that's not that great. I mean, that's just overnight. On another note, I mean, it's holding an antifreeze. Yeah, so it's holding antifreeze. And I don't see any leaks coming from antifreeze anywhere, so let me see where I can figure out where this pan's leaking from. Get back with you. Alright, so it was dripping off this corner up here, right in here below the dipstick. But yesterday I saw a leak coming from the dipstick area, and I put a piece of metal on this bracket here and hammered it down a little bit so that the rubber seal would go all the way in, and you can see the seals all the way in there, and it's not coming from there. So then I thought, well, it's coming from this corner here, so I went ahead and tightened these up a little bit yesterday, thinking I had solved the problem. And I saw this little dent right here in the corner. I thought maybe that was letting it dip down a little bit right there. But after drying it off a couple times up in here, what I came up with was, when I was putting this bolt in, it seemed a little tighter than the other bolts, like maybe it had been misthread at one point or something. So I thought I had it tight, but after rechecking it right now, it seems like it was a little bit loose there. So I know I'm not trying to smash the gasket down, because we know that's not good. So I tighten this one back up a little bit more here right now, and I want to give it a little bit, see what happens. It usually takes probably about 10 minutes or so for it to run down here to this corner and start dripping off. So maybe I'll get it here. I'm hoping. Alright, get back with you and let you know. Alright, another quick little video here. I got my kick down for the transmission. Got it hooked up. I still need to put some pins in here, and I need to put some washers in this one here to tighten it up a little bit, because I don't want it, you know, flopping around down here. I'd rather have a good tight connection to the, it looks like it's gonna, yeah, it needs some kind of washer under it or something to tighten it up. That way I know the gears are firm or whatever. But anyways, starter wire done, kick down done. Need to hook up some more washers on that and keep an eye on this and see if it drips. All right, get back with you on it. Oh, getting old sucks. All right, night night. All right, so here's where I'm at. Just building a wiring harness here, so I can power up the coil and the distributor, and hot wire over to the single wire alternator, so I'll have charging and a kill switch, so I can kill the ignition if I need to, and then push the start. So anyways, yeah, that's all I'm doing. Just got that. And then I searched high and low for my coil, and man, it has vanished. I swear to you, a couple weeks ago, it was here. It was here. It was on this table. But I have moved it somewhere, and I cannot find it. I've searched through all those boxes, through my wiring, all those boxes. I've searched high and low. I cannot find it. I went in the basement and I found this. I don't know. It's got a pretty big dent in it right here. I think that's the wrong connector in there. So I think I'll just go down and buy a coil tomorrow, and get a coil and some gas, and then I need to get some meld type connectors so that I can hook the ground to the choke, and then messed around down here on this because I had that leak, and I think I got it. I don't know. I'll have to get my, because I believe it was this one here that was not tightened up enough, because someone had cross-threaded that one I think I told you in the last video. But when I was tightening it, I didn't want to crack anything, so I was slowly in and then out and clean it, in and out and clean it until I re-threaded it. But when I tightened it down, I don't think I got it tight enough. But it's been quite a while, and I don't have no more drips over here on the floor, so I believe I got it. So, alright, I'll show you. So far, no leaks, but that could change when I start up the engine. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I should probably just buy some cheap wire separators while I'm down there, just to keep these from flying in the wind and going up against the exhaust or anything. So, alright, that's where I'm at. Just kind of getting this thing wired up, because I'd like to get it fired up and move on back off of this and do the final sanding on this car and get the inside of the fenders painted, inside of the doors painted, so I can move on. Alright, night. Alright, so after that last video, I was telling you guys I've searched high and low for that coil, and then I was watching the video, because I told you it was here somewhere. Look at that. Look what I found. Son of a... How in the heck did I just keep going over that? I telling you, I looked everywhere out here. It wasn't there. No, it couldn't have been there. Ghost is messing with me. No, for real though. I looked all over the place, and there it was, sitting right there, because I knew it was sitting here. Okay, that saves me from having to go buy one, because this thing wasn't too old. Yeah, I have to clean that bracket up for sure. But here we are, got a coil. Get back with you. Alright, this is where I'm at with it over here. First of all, taking safety precautions. I got the battery charger with the jump start hooked up, kill switch here, starter switch, oil pressure, timing light, flashlight with the full charge battery, temp gun, glasses, and I put 5 gallons of gas in, put the cap on. Looking around on the bottom here, making sure I don't see any obvious leaks coming out. This just gurgled a few minutes ago, so I'm going to refill that. Put this out in the open here, where I can get to it if I need to. So, alright, just thought I'd show you where I'm at with it. Get back with you. so far so good. Was a little bit out of time to start there, and in return it was starting to get a little hot, so I went ahead and shut it down and readjusted this distributor here. There's this big piece right there on the side of this distributor. It's not on a factory one, so it didn't give me very much room to adjust timing. So instead of doing that, I went ahead and just moved all the spark plugs, one back, so that I had some more adjustment in it where I was able to get it in time. And once I got it in time, the temperature started running correct, and ran it for, I don't know, probably 20 minutes or so on about 2,000 RPM, and really, I mean, it seemed to be running all right. Kind of got a little bit of a miss. Not sure what that is. If it's one of these new wires or what's going on, but I'll get it figured out. But I think it's getting there. Haven't heard no funky noises or anything, which is a good thing. Let's see. Yeah, see that timing's off. That's pretty spot on right there. Wonder what that was. Belt's still loose a little bit on the fan, so I want to let it set for a little bit and cool down, and then I'll do it all over again now that I got the timing pretty much set where it needs to be, and I'll get back with you. Alright, so the first failure engine wise, so I believe I got the brake-in done. It sounds good, but it had a little bit of a miss to it. I'm going to say that is probably why. And I'm not sure what caused that, but the rotor bug and the cap. Burn up. Brand new parts, mind you. Yeah, so I'm not sure what happened there, what would cause that. I'll call them Monday and ask them what would cause that and what's gonna happen of it, because yeah, brand new, shouldn't be doing that, that's for sure. Got the harness out, kind of jacking around here. Gonna clean it up, probably retape some of it. But meanwhile, back at the ranch here, yeah, I'm done. I'll have to walk away for now because I can't do anything more today. Like I said, I mean, I had it running good, and I believe I've got it broke in. But like I said, I just kept having a little miss, and I don't know why. So, alright, I'll get back with you on it, let you know what happens. Night night.